Today we're going to talk about the three main types of fats and oils. We're going to go into just a little bit of biochemistry to help us understand what these things actually are. If you picture a ladder with the rungs of the ladder being carbon atoms and the sides of the ladder being hydrogen atoms, you'll get a picture of what a fatty acid molecule is. Now, the three main types are unsaturated, sometimes called polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, and saturated. In the unsaturated or polyunsaturated fatty acid molecule, there are between some of those carbon atoms, between some of the rungs, there are what are called double bonds. Now, a double bond makes that fatty acid fluid. So it has many double bonds. That means at room temperature, that fat is liquid. So that would be like corn oil, soybean oil, walnut oil, safflower oil, also fish oil and flax oil. Those are the omega-3s and the omega-6s. They're liquid at room temperature. The next category is monounsaturated. Monounsaturated fats have one double bond, which means they're kind of flexible. And if you put that oil in the refrigerator, it will get a little bit cloudy, but it's basically still flexible. That is like olive oil and canola oil, and those are called omega-9s. The third category is saturated fats, and saturated fats have no double bonds between the carbon atoms. So no double bonds means no flexibility, so that fatty acid is very stiff and it gets right next to each other, and it's very solid. And so at room temperature, those fats are solid, and that's like butter, coconut oil, palm oil, and lard. Those are the three main types. We're going to talk in another segment about the benefits and the balance between those three types, why we need all of them. We'll go to just a little bit of an overview here. And in another segment, you want to watch for this one, we're going to talk about hydrogenated oils and what a mess that is and why that's something to be avoided. And in another segment also, we're going to be talking about cholesterol and the myth behind the cholesterol problem. So just, again, to go back just a little bit of the benefits of these three types of fatty acids. You need all of them. Saturated fats are a very stable fat. Again, they're solid at room temperature. Because they're stable, they don't have any double bonds, they can be heated fairly high and they don't go rancid. So you can cook with them, you can even fry with them. Butter, lard, coconut oil, palm oil. They can take the heat, so to speak. So they're going to hold their integrity. They're not going to go rancid. They're very functional in our body. We make all kinds of things with those saturated fatty acids. They're fuel. They do a lot of beneficial things. They actually hold omega-3s in our cell membranes where they need to be. Going backwards to the monounsaturated, those are the omega-9s. Those are also a very stable fatty acid, and those omega-9s are kind of a fuel for the heart muscle. We use that, and it's a very beneficial fuel. You've heard of the Mediterranean diet, high in olive oil, very protective of the heart. That's a beneficial thing too. The polyunsaturates, or the unsaturated fats, again, the omega-3s and the omega-6s, we need those too. We do need omega-6s, like we talked about in the other segment. We don't need huge amounts of them like we tend to get in our diets, but we do need them. They are an essential fatty acid that we need to make a whole bunch of different things, prostaglandins and different hormone things from those essential fats. Also, the omega-3s are essential. So like we talked about in that last segment, there needs to be a balance between those. So all those fats are important, and we need to think about fats in terms of the nutrition that fats give us, and not think about fats in terms of the scare tactics that the food industry has kind of given us over the last 50 years. That's going to be another segment talking about our fat phobia and why that's a problem. So that's just a little bit of an overview about fatty acids, some of their structure, and we'll talk about some of those other things in more detail later on.